Hey guys, and welcome to Relationship Chronicles. Today we have a cheating revenge story from one of my subscribers that I will walk you through with, and afterwards I'll give my opinion and advice to this subscriber on how to deal with this situation. Here we go. Almost lost my resolve. I got home late Sunday. It's a 1,400-mile drive. This was good. I really didn't want to see or talk to her. I was tired. Went to my chair and slept. I haven't slept well in 2 months. I've lost 15 pounds. I look and feel like shit. But it was the first 8 hours I'd gotten in a while. Monday, my wife tried to initiate some intimacy. I just cannot get it up for this woman. My Johnson is up bright and early before me every morning, so this is nothing physical with me. It's just that for once, my dick is in total agreement with my mind and heart. This upset her, and we got into a pretty heated argument. I told her maybe it was something wrong with me. I'm 50 years old, this shit happens. She started insinuating again that I'm cheating on her. She said that I'm not being a good husband. I haven't fucked her in over 2 months. I haven't told her I loved her in over 2 months. Clearly, I'm doing something behind her back. She tried to gaslight the shit out of me. Yeah, I was doing something behind her back. I was piecing everything together. D-Day for me was September 25. I work in collision repair. Specifically, I work on the vehicles that are considered train wrecks. September 25, I wound up cutting my leg open on a truck I was working on. That was a trip to the emergency room. I got 5 stitches inside my leg and 34 stitches on the outside. It was pretty bad. I got put on some hefty painkillers and there was no way I was going to drive. So I called my wife. No answer. Called 5 minutes later. No answer. Called again. No answer. Texted her, "Babe, pick up, I need you." "Call me." Called her again. No answer. More texts. Nothing. About an hour and a half of this. So I got an Uber to take me home. We turn onto my street, come in view of my house, and she is standing in our doorway, completely sucking face with the GM of where she works. I told the driver to stop. This wasn't a peck, folks. They were swapping spit. She was supposed to be at work. I pulled out my phone, took a couple pictures, and told the driver to keep driving. I had him take me back to work. I sat there in the break room for 4 hours. Head down on the table, numb, fucking heartbroken. When the painkillers wore off, I drove home, in pain from my leg and from everything going through my head. She wasn't home when I got there. She came home a couple hours later. She acted all concerned. Maybe she was, maybe she wasn't. I don't know. I asked how her day was, and she made up some bullshit about work that day. I know it was bullshit. A week later, I learned for the first time that she hasn't worked a Friday in 3 years. I've never really used Reddit much. It was always there, but I had no real interest in it till then. I was looking for crap on dealing with cheaters, and this sub showed up along with YouTube videos. So I read stuff here, just trying to find out what the hell I should be doing right now. I was reading about all the red flags and just saying, yep. Well, that fits her to a T, always on the phone, always texting. For some fucking reason, can't answer my calls or texts. She had no idea until last Monday that I had sat in the emergency room trying to call her, texting her. In 2 whole fucking months, she had not looked at our chat log. At all. She was yelling at me that I need to be a better husband, that I'm not doing enough for her. I got so fucking pissed I grabbed my phone, opened the chat log, and shoved it in her face. Showed her those unanswered texts. I rarely raised my voice, but I yelled at her that the one time I needed her to be there for me, I got ghosted. She pulled out her phone, looked. Then she left the house for a couple hours. When she came back, she apologized and then lied right to my fucking face. Oh, she had a hard day at work that day. Didn't notice because she was so busy. The truth is, she didn't know about the calls and texts because she was too busy fucking her boss in my house to answer her phone. In the time between that day and now, I've snooped her phone, her laptop, her iPad. Learned I could look at all her shit from one of her old phones. I've installed cameras in the house. I've been watching her cheat on me in real time for 2 months. Let me tell you something. I've always thought Apple products are for idiots. They really are. Cheaters should probably start using Android or something, because Apple syncs across everything. I've learned she doesn't just dislike my son, she fucking hates that kid, probably because him being at my house in the summer was cramping her style. I've learned this affair has been going on for years. I've learned it's not just her boss. One of the men she has been fucking has been someone I have worked with and considered a friend for over 14 years. She works with his wife. His wife has been helping her hide the affair with her boss. They'd fucking introduced me to her. They watched me propose to her. They were at the wedding. They let me marry this woman knowing she was cheating on me. I know 4 men. 2 I know. 2 I don't know. They'd fucked in my bed, on my couch, on my kitchen table where I eat, in my shower. These assholes have used my goddamn soap to wash their fucking balls. I went up to my property and where I hunt deer to get away for one weekend. I invited her. I always ask her to come whenever I go anywhere. She always declines. When I got back, I just watched this parade of men go through my house and fuck my wife. She didn't even shower and clean herself off between two of them. What a fucking pig. Yeah, there's a camera in the bathroom too. Same thing when I went to Chicago for Thanksgiving. Before we continue, please like and subscribe if you enjoy the video. She spent the whole weekend fucking other men in my home, in my bed. For 2 months I have kept this to myself until I told my ex what is going on. I'm wearing this calm mask, but I am inches from Hulk smash mode. I almost confronted her about her cheating, but I just ate the lies she told me. I fucking apologized for the argument. I told her I would make an appointment with a doctor for my erectile dysfunction. And then I read her text to her boss, calling me a limp dick, and she can't wait for Friday. This is not the woman I fell in love with 7 years ago. I'd like to say she's pure evil, but I'm thinking she's got severe mental health problems. Certainly, she's a sociopath. Whatever. I did not sign up for this. It was very hard for me to ask her to marry me. Since my first divorce, I had a hard time believing that anything nice a woman said to me was what she really meant. I've chased off 2 fantastic women in my life because I was still fucked in the head from my first wife. More so what I went through after the divorce than she didn't really love me. I got raped in my first divorce. I walked away from it with $43 in my pocket, no home, no car, no means to do my job, no support from my family, and had to couch surf for the next 3 years because everything I made went to alimony and paying off our debt. 22 years old and my life fucked before it really even started. I spent my 24th birthday on my friend's couch, drunk, with a gun in my mouth bawling like a baby because I didn't have the stones to do it. I saw no light at the end of the tunnel. Well, since that day, I have kept $43 in my wallet to remind me of the lowest I have ever been. I'm not saying that's where I am now, but I feel like I did after that. Yeah, I'm wiser and covered my ass this time. But the first time. I caught them in the act. Had to do it the old-fashioned way, come home early from a trip. But it was over. The extent of the gaslighting was her saying it's not what it seems and then screaming at me to stop as I beat the shit out of my brother and his friend. Don't do this. This hurt me in the divorce big time. But it was over. There was no bullshit. Nothing could be denied. All the therapy I have gone through, it's all gone. This time around it's this slow process of deceit. Holding everything in. Just getting lied to all the time. Even when she doesn't need to lie, she lies. I feel it every time I blink, she fucks some other guy. I no longer love this woman. Let's be clear, there will be no working this out. I checked out. My anniversary is a day that will live in infamy. Pearl Harbor Day. I'm going to make sure she remembers it. But the seconds seem like hours. I'm worn out, I have a constant headache. All the therapy I have gone through, it's all gone. Why had her served yesterday? For those asking, I wasn't in a good state of mind to write about it yesterday. Still not really, but I will get it off my chest. I woke up and left the house, got myself some breakfast while waiting for her to leave for work. Rented a truck, went back home, and changed the locks. My friend and her husband came over, he brought a friend, and we packed up her things. We loaded up our bedroom furniture that I got her as a wedding gift, my couch, my dining table, just all the furniture she defiled. Took it to storage, put all her clothes in garbage bags. Was going to throw her dirty clothes in with the clean, but my friend wouldn't let me. I got done after 11 a.m. At around lunchtime, I bought flowers and chocolates and went to her work. I went and gave her the flowers and candy, gave her a big hug and a kiss. She was all smiles and blushes. Her coworkers were doing the "aw, that's so sweet" thing. I told her that I would love to take her to lunch, but I had to go get a checkup on my leg. But to not make plans for the night, because I wanted to give her a night she would remember. We got done after 11 a.m. At around lunchtime, I bought flowers and chocolates and went to her work. I went and gave her the flowers and candy, gave her a big hug and a kiss. She was all smiles and blushes. Her coworkers were doing the "aw, that's so sweet" thing. I told her that I would love to take her to lunch, but I had to go get a checkup on my leg. But to not make plans for the night, because I wanted to give her a night she would remember. I gave her a goodbye kiss and started walking out. At this point, I'm going to start calling her GM, fucking Tom, or FT. As I was leaving, I saw her boss and gave him a big smile and said, "Hey fucking Tom, how are ya?" Gave him a wave and left. Then I went and got some lunch. At 2 p.m. a deputy would be walking into my wife's work to serve her. At 2 p.m. I was standing in front of FT's house. I texted in the picture I took on the day I caught them. I took a selfie in front of his house and sent that too. I knocked on the door and Mrs. FT answered. She knows me a little bit from parties and things my wife's work had. I told her that my wife and her husband were having an affair. She didn't believe me. I showed her that first picture I took, and I showed her a selfie they took while my wife was giving him a blowjob on my couch. And she fucking slapped me. I just stood there and she started crying. I gave her a thumb drive with everything pertaining to my wife and her husband that I had. I told her my wife was cheating on me with multiple men. Get checked for steds. I gave her my lawyer's card and my number. Then she asked why was I doing this to her. And to be honest, why did I do that? I hurt her pretty bad. I feel like the biggest piece of shit for doing that. I told her she had a right to know and felt like an asshole for giving her that answer. As I was leaving, that's when my phone started blowing up. Didn't answer any calls or texts. I just went home. When I got home, I changed my FB status to divorced. I started reading the text from my wife. No ETF is this? What are you doing? All that shit. I nudged her back and told her she could come to the house at 7 p.m. and not 1 minute before to get her clothes. Apparently, FT didn't tell her what I did right away as I imagine he had his own problems at the moment. But my wife sent me a text a little later motherfuckering me up and down for telling Mrs. FT. So he did tell her. My friend that covered up for my wife, gonna call her Amber, started calling me. So I answered. I answered with, how long have you known that my wife and FT were having an affair? Please don't lie to me. And she told me what I suspected. The whole time. Since before my wife and I had met. The whole fucking time. All this time, I was the side piece. My whole marriage is a sick fucking joke. Let me tell you, that's a bitter pill to swallow. I asked her why she didn't tell me. She said it's because they thought I would go apeshit, get violent and such. I told her that she knew me better than that. She said she kept it secret because she was her friend. What about me? I wasn't. I asked her if I knew her husband was cheating, wouldn't she want me to tell her? As a friend, wouldn't I be obligated to let her know something she should know? She said yes. So I hung up and sent her pictures my wife had taken of her and her husband, and texted her back with my lawyer's number, and said that my lawyer has everything I know. Then I told her never to contact me again. At about 4 p.m., my wife showed up at the house and found out about the locks. She started banging on the door and yelling. I didn't answer. She tried calling again. I turned my ringer off. Then she broke a window and left. At close to 7 p.m., 2 deputies parked out front. One is one of the people that helped me move stuff earlier. His wife showed up, also my friend. 7 p.m. rolls around and my wife showed up. She looked pretty subdued. Pretty sure her and Amber had gotten into it by then. I gave her clothes, the storage key and address, my lawyer's card. Told her that all contact with me will be through her. My wife started with the I love you crap. We can work this out. She's sorry. She loves me, a mistake. She doesn't love them. It didn't mean anything. I just pointed at my lawyer's card. She said that it's her house too and I can't kick her out. I told her it's my home and that she literally fucked herself out of it. This one she got really loud. All that I love yous turned into fuck yous and I hate yous. The deputies turned on their lights and neighbors had come out to gawk at the train wreck. I remained fairly calm and had my hands at my side through this. She kept screaming at me. I think she might have been drinking. She started crying that she had nowhere to go, and when I told her that I don't care. Well, I learned something new about my wife. She can throw a right hook. Gave me a fat lip and a bloody nose. I didn't move. I just stood there and let her do it. She tried scratching my face,